Today, I am with my good friend, Nearly Funny.
I have a name. It's like everybody. Hi, Nearly Funny.
Nir GUZINSKI. Is that how you pronounce it?
GUZINSKI.
GUZINSKI. Okay, I was
bad.
close.
Not bad. You didn't nail it. Butcher like Nir GUZINSKI. I have weird names. Okay.
There you go. So I'm with my good friend Nir, and today we're going to talk about, I like to split it up into 4 topics.
Sure.
So in my head, it was going to go like this, but it doesn't have to go like this. We can talk about whatever you want to talk about. I wanted to touch on your Nearly Funny page.
Okay.
Because I really want to know about that.
Okay.
Second thing I wanted to touch upon is obviously acting.
Okay.
Obviously. And I want to talk about storytelling. They all kind of fall into like, they mesh, you know?
Yeah, they intertwine.
Storytelling, and then finally, your pick.
My pick.
Your pick.
Okay, I thought you had 4 topics to talk about.
I did.
I have 4 topics to talk about, but you will pick the last one.
The last one was really your filter of the world.
Oh, my filter? Okay,
yeah.
my lens? Like how
your
I
lens,
see the world?
yes, because, and then we'll talk about that later.
Sure.
So let's talk about Nearly Funny. What is Nearly Funny?
Nearly Funny is now it's become a much bigger beast, I guess, but it basically is, it's a channel or a production kind of thing that is all about short form comedy or short form content. It's moved from comedy to content now. So we've done some web series, we've done some short films, working on.
Do you want to plug anything?
Not right now. I think we'll maybe plug later.
Okay, we'll plug
later. Right now, it's basically it's a medium for me and other actors to create content and short form content as its base to entertain people and
That's
to
amazing.
kind of. Yeah.
Make them laugh.
Make them laugh. Bring some joy in this world.
Why is that important to you to make people laugh?
Because I think, well, especially today, I think today's world is really kind of heavy. Everything is heavy. Everything is
so heavy.
It's just, we're going through a lot of different things in the world. And I think there's a lot of negative stuff out there. And I think when you watch the news, if you constantly are bombarded with this negative energy and messaging and news, so I just think it's important to keep laughing and to share some happiness in the world. And I'm somebody who loves to make people laugh. It's kind of like my go-to on a regular day-to-day basis, and it's also my way of, like, when I'm uncomfortable, to just break out of being more comfortable. I just make people laugh. It's kind of my self-deprecating way.
Mais oui.
So, mais oui, all of a sudden, on est parti en français. OK, alors, Nearly Funny, en français, tabarnak.
The cross legs, I love that. That's one of his characters, the French-Canadian therapist.
Everybody needs therapy. I need some therapy. So.
That's cool. I love that.
Yeah.
And so when you're talking about, like, producing this Nearly Funny channel, you do everything. You produce, you write, you act in it.
Oh, yeah. So it's
hard to be that, like, to wear all those hats. Or is it?
It is. I think it's an amazing thing to do because you get to learn and experience a bunch of different things. Mm-hmm. So I started out without knowing how to edit, without never really writing anything. I was mainly an actor, trying to get by, trying to get auditions, waiting for auditions. And I had a lot of friends similarly who were just telling me, I've been waiting for an audition, nothing happened, it's been slow. So for me, it was like, okay, we kept hearing in a bunch of different networking events or conferences or workshops or classes that you need to do your own content today. And with today's equipment, like, look at you just do your own content. So, so I just decided to do my own things, and I had to pick up editing. I had to learn how to kind of film. I'm not amazing at any of these things, but I think becoming a jack of all trades allows you to understand different people's worlds, and so you can mesh it all together and be like, okay, it's like a puzzle, right? So I know that in editing I need to do this, so this shot can't be like this.
Well, that's it, and it also makes you so much more valuable. Like, I know in J school.
Oh, thank you.
No, but it's true. When I was studying journalism, they said, like, they do not hire, just writers anymore. They hire a one-man, one-woman show. It's called a video journalist. Someone who can do everything. Someone who can write their own copy. Someone who has their own camera or, like, can film on their own, record, edit, and give it to them to package and put it on the air. Like, that's how news is being broadcast today. So it's the same thing for actors. The more you can do, the more marketable and valuable you are.
I find it very interesting because I could see both sides. Like, I think the world today is also both sides. You have people that could do a lot of different things and become jack of all trades, so they're masters of none. But there's also the way today's world is that everybody's a master of, like, they're looking for masters of specific things. Like, I need to be...
Are they still looking for those people?
I think there's still people that are in careers. If you're looking at, there's the UX expert. There's the guy that does the user experience only. There's the guy that does...
What is that? User experience?
Like, so if you're in programming, like you're creating... so in software engineering or in web development programming, like you have specific, right? There's the people that know specific languages of computer language, so they're only based on that. Then you have people that are only in marketing and can only do social media manager. Like there's in the corporate side, and I think it's like that as well. People like to know that there's an expert in something, and we all, like you're a CrossFitter, right? You work your ass off to become an expert at CrossFit.
But you know what's funny about CrossFit is that you are literally a master
of different
none,
techniques,
because we do everything. We do, well, swimming, when we can, but everything: gymnastics, weightlifting, cardio. So we actually aren't masters of anything.
You're incorporating a bunch of different things.
So it's different.
It's a balance.
It's a bad sport to compare your analogy to.
So take two, not CrossFit. But I think there's a mix of both. And then you have because of the technology today and the availability of it, I think being a jack of all trades and being able to do so much.
Yeah.
And today's medium with social media and how, is like you have the social media actors or the social media entertainers. They know everything. So they can do the editing. They can do the scripting.
And you're talking about like Lele Pons. You don't like her? Why?
Okay, so if ever she sees this. I think that when I started out, so 3 years and one change, I started on Vine. So I actually went on Vine.
Started on Vine.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
So I started 6 seconds. I was terrified of showing myself on camera because of that medium. I was like, as an actor, I don't know how it's seen. So I'm not sure if I put it out, people are going to say, oh, terrible. So I basically started with a Mickey Mouse puppet. Oh. And I just filmed the Mickey Mouse puppet and me making random, hi there, oh my God, he's naked, oh wow.
Oh,
so cool. I was just doing the voices, and I did a bunch of episodes of that. And then I was like, no, I got to put myself out there, show who I am, show what I can do. So then I started shifting it to in front of the camera, and that's one of the first episodes of the French Canadian Therapist was a 6-second episode.
Oh, nice.
And Lele Pons, and some of the other ones like Rudy Mancuso, King Batch, all these like Viners, if you want. They kind of influenced me to see how to use the comedy of 6 seconds, and 6 seconds is not a lot, and you have to put everything in there.
That's why it's so much harder.
Exactly. It was and it was an amazing experience to do it, and then it moved to longer form. But then when it moved to longer form, then you see that these Viners or 6-second artists, then it starts to lose its humor because they're not actors really, and they're not real script writers, or they are not great storytellers. So it becomes a lot harder to watch. And I found that nowadays, and because they have so many fans, that people will like anything that they do, regardless if it's not that great of a quality.
Well, yeah, because once you build that trust and that relationship, you got fans for life.
Exactly. So to me, that's kind of where I was like, I wanted to take the what those people have done and inspired me to do, but use my acting experience and also bring actors into the medium to show how, acting is all about.
I love that.
And storytelling is all about. And so it was like my thought of like, we can, as actors, instead of seeing it as a stigma, social media and social media acting or entertainment, let's elevate it. Let's actually show that what amazing acting and amazing storytelling could be. And so that's kind of how it evolved for me. And that's why Lele Pons is, again, nothing against her. I think she is an amazing creator. But she's not an actor.
It doesn't speak to you.
Exactly. That's and I just thought it became also redundant the way that some of the new videos of hers are.
Okay.
And I didn't find it as funny. I found, yeah.
So for your Nearly Funny page,
yes,
we've spoken before about like branding. And it's so difficult to like sort of just show people what you're all about if they stumble upon you on your YouTube, if they stumble upon you on your Instagram.
Yeah.
And it's hard to grow. You've been doing this for how long now?
3 years.
3 years. How do you find your growth? How do you find why do you talk about it?
I feel like I'm somebody who's a little bit impatient, so progress.
As we all are.
Yeah,
honestly.
but you need patience, and I think name drop Matthew,
Jill Frida, Gary V,
and Gary V, but they mentioned patience, and I think due to a little bit of lack of patience, I always want to see progress, and I want to feel like I'm doing something that is moving me forward. And I sometimes don't take stock enough of the fact that, wow, I learned how to edit. I learned how to write. I did a web series, all these things. And I've worked with so many amazing people.
And you're getting so much better month after month,
exactly.
year after year.
And I've become better at reading, at memorizing lines now because I've been doing it so often. So I don't take that enough as progress because I'm looking at numbers. That's the thing, and like financially and career wise. So to do it for 3 years on a regular basis, to put so much time and effort, and to be at a certain number versus other people. And again, I don't like comparing, but that's life. We have a hard time. We're going to compare. You just have to not be stuck on it and not hate on it, and but and not put yourself down on it. But
it's good to compare in the sense that it gives you an idea of what you might be doing wrong.
Yeah. So if you take it that way, it's a great thing because you can learn from it.
That's it.
And so sometimes it's hard. It's like I'm not gonna sugarcoat stuff. There are times where I want to quit, and because I'm like, it's been 3 years. I work nonstop. I have a full-time job, and then I go home and I edit and I write and I film and I love doing that, but it's tiring on my body and my mind and everything. And so
is it tiring?
Yeah.
They say that if you really do what you love, you'll never be tired because you'll never feel like you're working. I do 2
separate things, right? I work full-time 9 to 5 in something that I'm not 100% in love with versus something I love.
So do you think that that's what's making you tired at the end of it?
Of course, because I split my energy in 2 worlds, and I don't have enough time to do what I want, that I follow the passion. Because when I'm doing it, I love it. I can, like you were just doing, when you edit or when you're doing something like editing, you might be immersed in it for so long that all of a sudden 5 hours go by and you're like, whoa, okay, I gotta get home.
That happens to me. That's when you know that you're doing what you need to be doing.
So I end up at coffee shops. I get in there at like 7 o'clock right after I come back from work, eat, go to the coffee shop, and at midnight, they're like, okay, time to go. I'm like, oh damn, I gotta go. Filming, same thing. When we're on set, we're doing our little skits or we're doing bigger stuff. It just flies by. I was today in a workshop, same thing. We were on set from 11 to 5. And it was just like, what? It's already 4? Holy crap.
That's amazing.
But it is also, I'm old.
You're not old. You're not old. Come
so
on.
it's kind of like the fatigue sets in a bit. And then when you don't see that progress as fast as you'd like, it gets to you. Sometimes you do go, oh, why? Why is this not picking up? Why is this not working? What do I need to do? So you evolve, and then you adapt, and then you try to do things, and sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't.
We had a scary conversation, and scary to me because whenever I see somebody about to give up on their dreams, which is literally why I'm doing this podcast, I swear to God. And we had a conversation on your way out the door when you were leaving my house last time, and you said, I don't know how much longer I can do this if I'm planning on having a family, if I'm planning on having kids. And that like literally tears my heart from my chest because I'm like, no, please just set your life up in a way that makes you live your dream. So would you ever consider quitting this job that your heart's not into, making maybe a little bit less money in a job that you like more, but you're making less money and you can still live your dream forever?
So I love my day job, so I don't get fired. I feel like this is gonna air. People are like, so we knew that he didn't love it here. I've always thought about pursuing acting and this as a full-time thing.
Yeah.
I was raised in a way to make sure that I was somewhat financially not comfortable, just okay, to get by, to not be stressed about finances. I envy anybody that takes the time to just commit to their passion.
Why do you envy that? Envy shows you what you want to be doing.
Because I have a ton of debt, and I have somewhat of a lifestyle. And thinking again, talking about the family stuff, is to raise a family, you need some sort of financial backing. And being somebody that doesn't have somebody right now to have a family with, I don't know where that's going to go. So if I meet somebody that is in the same boat, well, then who's going to be able to do that? So that's why I was saying that there might be, and again, the fact that I'm split into 2 worlds and basically 9 to 5 and 6 to midnight or 1 o'clock doing 2 different things, I have no time to socialize as much. So meeting people, connecting, building a relationship takes time. You need to develop that. So that's why I said, maybe at one point I got to give up something. And again, I would rather not give up the passion
but
and
I
the
would
acting.
hope that you would give up the job that you hate and not the passion, even though the job that you hate is what's giving you, not that you hate.
I don't hate
Nir.
the job. It's not my number one choice. It's not
Yeah.
my number one passion. But the fact is that to do what I do, I still need some financial support. I have a place because I have a financial backing. I have the ability to work and to have a computer and to pay for things and to have a car, all these things. And again, there are sacrifices that I could make. I could quit and go into two different worlds. Yeah, that's always.
But it's not something that you're willing to do. So at the same time, and I think this is where Gary Vee is my biggest role model, because he says, listen, if you're 100% happy, this message is not for you. I'm talking to the people who are complaining.
Yeah.
And if you're complaining about the fact that you hate your life, then something obviously needs to change.
Again, don't hate my life. Whoa, this went extreme. You hate your job, you hate your life. No.
That's not what I'm saying, but you get what I mean about don't give up the passion.
And again, I agree with that. I think it is just in those moments where you realize that you have to give up something. That there is sacrifice in life. You have to sacrifice something. So if it is to continue my passion or your passion or whoever's passion, you have to sacrifice. So is it you sacrifice initially your social life? That's what I've been doing. You sacrifice your career in terms of something else that's financially stable? Yeah. Maybe. But that's what you need. Like, you have to make that choice. And part of me also, again, the whole patience and the understanding of I've chosen to sacrifice my social life and my sleep.
Same.
Because I love doing this and I want to continue and I want to grow. But the hope and dream is that what this is and what you do leads you to things that allow you to build off of and live off of it. Now, I don't want to be famous and rich. I don't give a shit about that. All I care about is being able to afford a base of security and potentially a family. While doing what I love. That's and that's what I think I am working to build on. But I have to be patient and understand that until that time, I need to be tired. I need to, keep working. I need to push. I need
hustle. It's all about the hustle.
And you need to just, not give up. But there are days where you want to, because you realize that, I've been doing this a while and it's tiring and not much success has come out of it in a sense. And what defines success is a totally different thing, right? Some days I'm like, I'm just happy fucking doing this and hanging out and meeting people and creating something that I am proud of. Yeah. And other days I'm like, I got 1,500 followers. That's nothing. I'm not getting nothing. I'm not getting paid. I'm not getting this. I'm not getting that. Like, every day is a different shift of mood sometimes, and I gotta just sometimes take that moment and reflect.
For sure, but on those days that are a little bit darker than the others, what keeps you going to the next day?
Ooh, that's like my question in my Monday motivators.
Oh, look at that.
Honestly, it is a funny. Some days it literally is just me having to to be mindful of, this is what I've already done and accomplished, and just take that moment and then go to sleep and then go back, get back up and do it again. But sometimes it literally, I do not kid. I do not kid you. I kid you not. I sit there and at a coffee shop, or I'm at home, or whatever it is, where I'm not feeling great about it, and I'm thinking, fuck this shit. And all of a sudden, I'll either get a text message, somebody will come up to me and be like, "Yo, I saw your video. It was so good. Oh, I love what you do." So I had that happen twice, which is crazy. Yeah, I was in shock. I literally was like,
"Oh my God, I'm a star."
No, I literally didn't know what to say. And I was like, and at the end when the person left, I was like, I should have said thank you. I should have been like, "Oh my God."
So you just stared at him blindly and said,
I was just like,
you just nodded your head.
Yeah, I was just like, thanks. And it was really awkward. Felt bad.
Oh no.
But anyways, those moments of people and comments sometimes when they're like, "Oh, this is so much fun. This is funny." Or when I meet someone, a fellow actor, and they're excited about maybe doing something with me, or they've seen an episode or a show or whatever, that all of a sudden energizes me. And I'm like, all right, so there is an impact, and I'm actually, because it's hard when what I find is interesting is when you're behind the computer and you're editing and you're writing and then you're filming and then you're back doing that and then you're posting and you're always by yourself almost doing that.
Yeah.
You have no idea, unless you're lucky enough to have a bunch of followers and a bunch of comments, you have no idea the impact it has. So you put it out there and you get 12 views, 100 views,
and you know what
5
sucks?
likes.
You know what I hate is that when you get, let's say, like 130 likes and then like 8 comments, because it's like, come on, if you're gonna give me a like engage with me and tell me what you engage. It's all about the engagement. Like, how did this impact you? Tell me what you thought. You know.
That's the hope, and the reality is that, again, your content has to be engaging. It has to give a reason for them to engage.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just a matter of being able to be seen. Like the web and social media is just so flooded and inundated with content that you might not stand out from others, or you just aren't being seen at all. Even if you try different things, even if you spend money on it, even if you do the hashtag stuff, you sometimes need a little bit of luck to connect with somebody that may have some clout to share it, or your content is good enough to be like to instigate engagement. And some people are masters at that, and sometimes I also question if I'm doing it right, because I'm not always thinking about what's gonna engage and push the buttons. I do what makes me feel good and what I think is funny to me.
And that's what they say as an influencer. You can't do what you want to do.
Yeah.
You have to take a hint from the audience members.
And so that's sometimes the reason why you're not getting, or I'm not getting as much, because I'm like, I love to do this and it's a story I want to tell and I think it's funny and I want to share it. And so to me, it's just creating content that is, in my opinion, valuable.
Yeah.
And at times it does come at the expense of engagement and views. So I need to balance that. And some people are masters at that and know exactly what buttons to push and what's going to get them. And that gets views. But it's when you get the feedback. Like, I'll go to an audition once in a while, and then somebody will be there, hey, I've seen your videos. Really nice stuff. I'm like, you watch my videos?
That's amazing.
Yeah. Oh my God.
Maybe.
Oh my God. I can't do this audition now. I'm all flustered.
I know. I hate that.
But those are the moments that keep me going and actually make me see that, you know, there's an impact. And even though it's not in your face impact because we're behind the computer and on social media, that's what I think drives me to keep doing the next video.
That. And you just mentioned before, for our listeners, your Monday Motivator.
Yeah.
So you have this segment on your Nearly Funny channel on your YouTube and Instagram where it's like Monday Motivators, like actors, and is it just actors? Artists. Any artists in Montreal, that you have a 1-minute clip about them talking about what motivates them to keep going in their craft. And I love it. I watch almost every single one because I take
on IGTV, people still watch that.
I just love it. I love what they say. What made you want to start this?
So, pretty much exactly the topic we just talked about. I had moments of I was struggling every so often to find motivation and inspiration, and I also know a lot of actors that go through the same motion. I'm not getting auditions. I'm not booking anything. And should I keep doing this? And so I started, as when I'm interacting with other actors and artists, I've heard different people sometimes motivate me or tell me certain things. Mm-hmm. And I thought it was valuable for anybody that needs motivation as an artist, because it's not hard. It's not hard being an artist. It's not easy being an artist. It is a passion that you have. It's a lot of work. It's a lot of training. You got to keep doing it, but it's also not as rewarding as other in terms of financially. So it's hard. It's hard to keep yourself constantly motivated. So I decided to interview Montreal artists that inspire me, because I thought it would be interesting to hear from them and other people to hear from them. And it's kind of branched out a little outside of Montreal now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. So I've reached out to other people, other actors or artists that I know through social media, or even that I don't know, and just asked them if they can be a part of it. Oh. And some you'll see in the next couple of weeks. There's some that are not from Montreal. Some are from Montreal that moved to Toronto.
Because that's where all the actors go to get work.
No, don't talk about that.
No, don't go to Toronto.
But so I think it was, for me, it was valuable to hear other artists tell me, and it's not just actors. I think there's musicians, painters. There's different art forms that I think a lot of us can connect on, that what inspires you, what motivate you, and what you can tell other artists. And it's interesting because I had one friend who was like, I don't have anything to say as words of wisdom. I don't feel like I can bring anything because I haven't really achieved an ultimate. And I was like, it doesn't matter. You have an experience that you share with yourself. Yeah. And you've gone through something, and you have your journey. And what you went through is potentially valuable to somebody who's just starting out or somebody who's even 10 years ahead of you in terms of success.
Yeah.
I think, or experience. I think everybody has a story and everybody has something that inspires them, what motivates them, and advice they can give somebody regardless of where they are in the spectrum of success or experience.
Yes, or regardless of what field they're in,
Exactly.
painting, acting. I was talking to a painter. Her name is Zoe, I believe it's Boivin.
Okay.
And I was asking her, how do you find your focus? Like, she showed me her Instagram. She told me that she has so many paintings that she's selling for so many thousands of dollars, and I'm like, wow, like, you really made it. How do you find a focus, and do you ever feel like you want to branch out and do something else? She's like, oh yeah, well, I do painting and I do acting. She studies with Gilles Plouffe.
Yay, Jill.
Shout out Jill. And so I was like, wow, that's amazing. She's like, you have to follow your heart. You have to follow what your heart's telling you to do, not the idea of what you think you should be doing. So for me, for instance, I'm like, oh, I should be going to an acting class. Oh, I should be. But if that's not what I want to be doing, follow your instinct. What do you want to be doing? For instance, I just made a vision board, okay, with 5 different sections of like CrossFit, a bunch of things that I wanted to focus on. Podcasting was not on my vision board this year, which I started a month ago, but I needed to follow it, and now I'm following it and I'm so happy. So that's what I wanted to ask you is like, do you ever feel like you want to stray away from acting, and do you ever like not follow those impulses and you're like, no,
Somebody's reaching out to you.
Stick with acting.
Stray away from acting. For me, no. I love acting. I love to entertain. I don't
How do you feel about following impulses? Do you ever have impulses to do something?
Yeah.
Like what?
I wanted to do a web series. Did a web series. I wanted to, the impulse. What other impulses could I have?
Well, for instance, what if you gave up on that web series, but in your head you were like, no, I have to finish it? Did you followed it through? Like, you started it and you finished it and you had the same motivation throughout the whole thing?
I think you have to adapt. I think you do have to adapt and evolve, and sometimes something will take you off course. We were talking about, me and Steven were thinking about doing a podcast, right?
Yeah.
Thought, great idea, wanted to do it, had topics to start talking about it, but we had no time. Because we had other things that we really wanted to accomplish first, and it wasn't our first love, let's say, to the priority. So it took a backseat, and you got to prioritize what you actually want to do, and put that first. And if it means putting something behind on the back burner for a little bit, that's fine too. And sometimes you scrap it all together. I have hundreds of ideas for skits on my phone. Hundreds. And I don't even know if I want to look back at 7 months ago what I wrote. But I have, I want to do them because I think some of them could still work. But there's some other ones that are just like, oh, this one's really good, let's do this.
Okay, yeah. So
I think it depends. I have impulses to change and do certain things, for example, in terms of scripting. So initially it was a lot of improv in my videos, and then I was like, no, I want to write a script on something, and so that changed and I moved that direction. And example, on this video game workshop that I just attended, I was not sure if I had time or I wanted to submit, because I was like, oh, I've already submitted a couple of years ago, and do I have time? Do I have money? All this stuff. And I was like, no, I want to do this. This is another interest of mine. I want to continue acting and evolving into voice acting in video games.
Nice.
And so I submitted the same day, and it was 2 days before the deadline, and I got an audition and I got in. So I think it's important to follow impulses, and I think it's also important to realize that sometimes, for you have a vision board. Vision boards are great. I think it's important to set a goal and to have something in mind, but you also cannot be rigid. Because if something grabs you and can pull you in, and you're like, no, it's not on my vision board. I'm not going to put that up there. I'm not doing that.
That's it. But a lot of people operate in that way.
I think you have to be flexible. Life is about being flexible. Sometimes you're going to get fired without wanting to get fired, or you're going to find a job that you didn't expect, or you're going to meet somebody that you didn't expect, and you have to be able to be flexible. But you have to also follow your drive, and if somebody meets somebody that tells you should become a mime because it's the best next thing you should do, and no, you look perfect for a mime. If that's not your passion, no, thank you.
Yeah.
But if it's something like somebody tells you know what, Fiona, I think you should be doing a video montage every week about,
and I'll pay you $20,000. Yeah, I think that if they wanted to pay me more than my happiness level. But
what does that mean?
It means that I really don't give a shit about money.
Okay.
And that they...
So why would they have to pay you? What if they just told you, Fiona, we want you to do...
Honestly, I would have to just love to do it.
Okay, so if they said, Fiona, we want you to do a podcast about CrossFit, would you do it for free? We want you to every week.
No, because I'm already I have my focus in something else, you know. So it would have to be like, okay, offer me something more than my happiness level. Okay. Because if you offer me $20,000 per podcast, of course it's gonna make me very happy, and I'll put my side hustle on. Do you know what I mean? On pause. So I'll accept that money for the meanwhile.
But what if? Okay, so here's this question for you.
Yeah, I love questions. Nobody asks me questions.
I'm gonna ask you questions. So you said happiness level and you put $20,000. Let's say forget $20,000. What if you're doing your podcast, this is what you love, right?
I love it.
And all of a sudden somebody comes to you and says, Fiona, we love your podcast, but we want you to do a podcast interviewing these, let's go with celebrities or these CrossFit performers like whatever they are. But it's every week and we're moving you to Toronto for it.
Okay.
Well, would you do it even if it's for free? Like, would this shift your you were talking about redirection and flexibility? You're not doing this, but you're getting an opportunity to be filmed. Somebody else is going to edit. Everybody's going to. They want you to interview celebrities.
It would have to depend on whether or not that matches my goals and if it's something that would make me happier than what I'm doing right now. Because what I'm doing right now makes me so happy. If I had like so much money in the bank, I would still be waking up tomorrow and doing this exact thing. So they would have to like make it worth my while. So make it worth my time. What
if they tell you you have a guaranteed audience, you have guaranteed guests, you don't have to do the editing yourself, everything is like this. All we want is for you to sit in the couch and interview people.
I would probably say yes, because that excites me.
See?
Yeah, you're setting up the perfect world.
Exactly, but it's $0 for free.
I would have to think about it.
Okay.
I would have to think about it.
To me, that's interesting because this is your world right here, and you're not getting paid for this, right?
This is my world. That's exactly it. So why would I go into somebody else's world doing the same thing for free? It would have to depend because right now I'm hitting the people I want to hit. I'm hitting the audience that I want to hit. Okay. Maybe these magic entertainers who are taking me onto their show are hitting the totally different demographic than I want. Like people who watch TV, 70 plus. I don't necessarily need to talk to them right now.
So that's exactly what you were saying in terms of
knowing your target audience and your market. Who are you trying to hit?
And also when something comes your way,
when to say no.
Yeah, if you're going to deviate from your path or if you're going to say, no, this is not what I really want to do.
You know what I think? I think that your gut will tell you. Your gut will tell you whether or not it's right or wrong. I had someone come up to me and tell me, I want you to be my D-Rock. And for those of you who don't know what D-Rock is, what the fuck is a D-Rock? It's Gary V's cameraman. And he follows Gary Vee everywhere. He films him, he edits him, he gets paid a lot of money. I was offered that for a food company. And I was like, you know what? I'm just not into food. It was literally, my gut was like going in circles. And I was like, this is not for me. And I had to listen to that. Imagine I would have been like, yeah, sure, let me produce one video. The guy said, produce one video for me and we'll see how it goes. I didn't even produce the first video because I knew right off the bat it wasn't for me. You have to trust that voice. You have to trust that gut instinct.
See, I'll
You're gonna
slightly disagree. Go. Because I agree that you have to follow your gut and your passion and your dream, and what you prefer to do. But I also think that sometimes doing something outside of your comfort zone that's not what you think is what you think you don't want or not sure that it's what you want could actually lead you down a path that's different and might be better, or could be better. Who knows? But for example, I'll give you an example of it, and it's not really that extreme.
Yeah.
But like, I reached 200 episodes on the Nearly Funny.
Woo!
That's
a good, yeah.
So I had people tell me you should do a party for it. You should do a viewing for it. And I'm like, it's just 200 episodes online. It's not a big deal. We're making content regularly. It's not that big of a deal. And then they were like, you should do it. And I was like, no, I don't like throwing myself parties. I don't like
throwing myself parties.
The humble thing. But it was just like, I don't like putting attention on myself in terms of those kinds of things. So I was just like, no, it's not for me. I don't want to do that. And then I thought about it some more. And then a couple of weeks passed. And I was like, you know what? Maybe by doing that, it's just going to, again, give me that feeling of like, you know what, you've achieved something, and take that in. So I actually ended up really quickly inviting a bunch of people that were on the show and some others, and projected it on upstairs in my condo buildings thing, and had some guests, and it was great. And I invited you, and she didn't make it.
I was pretty sad that you didn't invite me.
I did invite you.
I don't think I received the invitation.
What a liar.
I really don't think I received.
Do you want me to actually prove her wrong? I actually invited you.
I believe you. And I'm just a bitch for not showing up.
So basically, it was a great night, and while there, I met somebody who then told me, "Oh, you do some editing. Would you like to help edit some company's videos?" I was like, "Sure, why not?" And so from that moment of taking a decision that I wasn't comfortable with, wasn't sure I wanted to do. From that
viewing party, you made a connection.
Yeah. And that led to now, after a couple of months, I ended up doing some video editing for a company from the States.
And you got paid?
Yeah.
Damn,
And so that kind of opened my mind to maybe I should do video editing as a way to make money.
Extra
and
on
be
the
able,
side.
yeah, and then also learn to maybe shift away from into a different career and a different world. Not my passion to edit. It's not my first love, and I don't want to be an editor only. But it opened a different world, and then it made me think about other stuff. It's like, oh, maybe I can create a company that does editing, but using my ideas. So I think, to me, it's a matter of being flexible and being adaptable, but also sometimes taking a chance on something completely that you didn't expect. And then it might shift your thing. You don't need to be pulled away. But
I totally agree with you. But I do feel like there's a huge difference.
She agrees.
I do feel like that there's a huge difference in like really feeling a knot in your stomach, like this is not for you, and being like, I don't need to do that. I feel like it's just different.
And that's why I don't totally disagree with you, because I think you also have to make choices and prioritize. If you're doing something that takes time and energy and you love it, and then something is going to take also time and energy and move you away from that, and it's not at all what you want to do, then don't do it.
That's how I felt.
Okay, so that's to me different, but it's still relevant, because you have to decide what is like right for you, but also in a sense not close off into a box of like, I'm only doing this and that's all I want to do and nothing else. Because sometimes doing something completely different, like editing, which it wasn't at all what I wanted to do. I wanted to act.
Yeah.
Why would I do editing?
Still in the same world, though.
It's the same world, but still, it's not my passion. And I end up spending a lot of time editing, more than sometimes acting, because it takes a long time to edit. And it created a different world for me, because it made me realize, okay, so now I know when I'm an actor, I can't do this. There's continuity. I need to watch out for sound.
There you go.
And so and that's why
you become a better actor. Yeah.
So doing different things sometimes, shifting away from your actual love, sometimes helps you grow into something more to help your passion in a different way. I think we just need to be a little more flexible at times and not be so rigid in certain things.
Do you think that as actors we're emotional people?
All the time.
Why do you think we're so emotional?
Because we have to be. I think because...
Wow, we do.
Yeah, because you have...
It's an excuse we can use.
You can use it.
I'm an emotional person. I'm a fucking actor, okay?
The reality for me, and that's my opinion, is as an actor, we have to embody different people, different worlds, different personalities, different emotions, and we have to convey that in a short time, and we have to make an impact on the screen for the audience to connect. And they can't connect if you're just being like, "Hi, my name is Nir. I'm totally cool. This is great.
So you have to be so in touch with your emotions.
You have to be emotional. You have to be connected. You have to listen. You have to be part of the dynamic, and you have to engage. And for me, it's a tough balance, because I work in a corporate setting, and you hear a lot in corporate settings. Don't be so emotional. Why are you emotional? This is a business decision. You gotta think. It's analytical. It's business. It's professional. I hate that, because I think that we've been I don't like to say brainwashed. I think we've just been trained to believe that it's two different words. Yeah, that you're not supposed to be emotional if somebody tells you that your idea is shit.
Yeah.
Or that you need to do this for tomorrow, or otherwise you're fired. Oh, I have to be okay with that and be like, yes, sir. No, it's going to hurt. It's going to sting. I need to be able to, we spend so much time in corporate world in the office. We're humans. We got to still be human. Yes, you got to not cry at every single second, but nobody does that even in real life. We don't always cry because you don't get your way. When you're a toddler, yes, but when you're older, you kind of gauge and you build some defenses and all that, but you can't just, I'm gonna do what you say, yes sir.
I'm a robot. Yeah, no, you can't.
I think you need to marry the two, because if you are in a corporate setting, but as an actor, it's even more, because you're constantly pulling from your emotions to convey a scenario, a scene, to convey a story, a person's life. And so if you're not able to reach that and tap into that on a regular basis, sometimes it's hard to stop. Like, I started watching, I watch TV and Netflix and documentaries.
I can't believe you put yourself through that, by the way. You told me to watch that and I can't.
You mean This Is Us? This is
Gus is yours.
My show.
This Is Gus is his web series that is like a play on words of This Is Us.
Yeah, it was a slight loose parody on This Is Us, a comedic parody on This Is Us, but basically
I can't do that to myself. Put myself through those TV shows. I just can't.
I think it's part of, for me, is being empathetic. I know that I'm very empathetic towards the world, and others, and compassionate towards others, because when I see somebody in pain, I will feel pain. I will bawl if I see somebody tearing up over something. So if I start
crying right now?
Yes, if it's legit pain. Not if you're just like...
Okay, watch me cry, watch me go. No, I'm kidding. But I can. I've done that.
I know she can cry.
I did that in front of him. And he's like, command. What the fuck?
Yeah, and so when you do a scene with somebody that's crying, or if I'm watching somebody on TV that's crying, I will feel it. And it's part of who I am. I care of other people's emotions and feelings and pain. So I live through that. And so I think it's important to have that. We're going to get heavy in this time of world. I think we're lacking in compassion and in empathy.
Really? Why?
Because of today, everybody's, especially with social media and being behind a computer, it's easy to just comment on people and being dismissive. I want to
talk about that.
Bring it on.
Do you seriously think that social media is a bad thing?
I don't think it's a bad thing.
You think it's a bad thing in terms of compassion?
No, I think it brings the worst in people or the best in people. I think social media can mobilize a bunch of people to care about one thing, which is amazing. Like, if you have an issue and you've lost your house, you can go online, share that you have that, and people will pour in and help.
Yeah.
That's amazing. It brings people together. There's a dark side.
But what it can also do is that there was a couple who actually...
the
fake couple who took a homeless man and put it on what's that site there where you can GoFundMe. Yeah. And they said, oh, we just helped this homeless man. Can you give him a couple $1,000s? They got something like $400,000. And finally, like, the government found out about it. They all went to jail. So yeah, you're right that it can be used for dark
It's like
matters.
Everything. I think social media is just an extension of who we are. There's going to be the bad and the good. There's like good lawyers and bad lawyers. There's good politicians, bad politicians. There's good actors, bad actors. Everything is shown. The thing that I find is hard with social media is that social media, you're behind a computer or your phone, and so that connection of people and seeing and talking to somebody live and understanding them is cut off.
Yeah.
So when somebody has an issue or says something or does something, it's easy for somebody to just mock them, hate them, laugh at them.
Or hang up.
Yeah.
If you're on the phone with someone.
Exactly. And so I think the world we're living in is creating these extremes, and there's no middle ground as much. So you're getting a lot of anger from people or animosity, and they're not taking the time to understand the person and be empathetic or compassionate towards that person's life or strife or whatever it is. And so we're getting these, and because on social media it's the extremes. You don't have the people that are very just like okay and average, don't comment as much, don't have crazy arguments, don't have these things. It's the people that want to say something and are angry with the world that will share it, or the people that love something will share it.
Yeah.
And so you have these extremes just constantly butting heads. And I find that...
But what's wrong with that? Butting heads?
It's that we don't take the time to listen. So because you can just disconnect, you just go, you're an idiot, you're an asshole, I think your ideas are stupid, bam, done, I'm gone.
Yeah, but then what if you hit reply? He gets a notification, and then he comments,
and then it's just anger. But you don't take the time to actually understand what that person's point of view is, because it's such a small window of time that you're doing, and then you're behind, and you're like, you're a fucking asshole. And the moment that you feel like you're attacked, or that you get attacked, you attack back, and then you end it, right?
Some people.
But and sometimes, and I'm a part of my belief also is that not a lot of people, regardless of social media or not a lot of us can debate.
You don't think?
No, because I think a lot of us are just ego-driven.
Then let's get a topic that we don't agree on and let's debate it. I really want to do that.
We could do that. You could debate. I just think that we, as people, the majority, to me, a lot of people have a hard time just, and I'm partly included in that too, is listening to somebody and being able to take those facts or opinions and change your opinion.
I completely agree.
We like to feel like we're right. We have our ego. We don't want to get bruised. So when somebody tells you that you're wrong, you tend to fight back. And very rarely do you see debates at the end of them going, "Oh my God, you are so right. Thank you for teaching me. I have completely lost." It's very rare.
It's one of the reasons why I'm doing this podcast, because I want to have people on here. Right now I'm getting people on here who have my views, so it's kind of hard. It's like more a funny podcast, but I really do want to get people who, I don't agree with.
Fine. To Google, and I will. Facebook it. Say like, who does not agree with this, and then do it.
And then I will, yeah. Because I think it's so important to stay so open-minded to the point where you can leave a conversation having changed your opinion and be like, what, thank you. No, well, for instance, I just, I did a podcast last week and we spoke about Jussie Smollett, that was his name, who got attacked.
Yes, the guy from...
So listen to this. So I posted that on my YouTube and I had a comment from a guy saying, "I'm so sick of this fake news. Did you not hear that this didn't even happen?" And okay, whether or not it happened or not, he brought up a great point that really got me thinking. And I was like, wow, he's right. I don't even know if this happened or not. You're right. Maybe it did happen, but there aren't pictures. It could, for all we know, be fake news. It's really a matter of what do you believe in? Which article do you believe in? How much research are you going to do to choose your side? And he got me thinking. And so not saying that I agreed with him, but he got me thinking. And that's what's important, to stay so open-minded that at the end of the conversation, you can actually change from it.
And at least it can lead you to look at change. I think that's the difference where a lot of people don't want to. Like like you have conservatives and Democrats, let's say, or Republicans and Democrats, or conservatives and liberals. Very little, very, very, not very often will you see somebody go, "Oh, you're right.
Oh, you're right.
I'm so sorry. I was so wrong." Like it
or
happens.
Or they'll say it to shut them up.
Yeah, it happens sometimes, but a lot of times you'll just get the liberal, this,
conservative.
Yeah, and so you just have this kind of like butting heads. And then sometimes you'll have a moment where the person goes, "That's an interesting one. I'll go look and do my research," and maybe eventually slowly shift. But I personally don't believe that people shift in debates.
Why do you
because
think
it's an ego thing. It's an ego thing. I think we've been raised in a way that is, if you're wrong, it's bad. If you are wrong or you feel like what you're saying is not right, it's bad. And also just the fact that we have a belief system in our head, and if you check, like, we've connected our belief system to who we are as a person and not just about a topic. So I am a conservative or I'm a liberal. Yeah. I believe in the rights of this.
Yeah.
If this is wrong, I am a complete failure. And that's where we're screwed, because we don't...
That's why I think that the most important thing in the world is to be nothing, be nobody, have no title. You are literally just a human with, sure, past experiences, but take that all away. That's what they teach being a monk. That's what they teach in Buddhism. They teach that you are nothing. It's literally called fuck yourself. Go, like... kill yourself. Sorry, fuck yourself.
Whoa!
It's called kill yourself.
Don't do that. This is not...
No, kill your
ego?
Theoretical self. Kill
ego?
Your theoretical self, meaning kill the idea of who you are. You are nobody. And so you need to understand that...
I am nobody. Nobody's perfect. I am perfect.
I saw that. But...
Good time.
By not attaching yourself to the idea of what you think you are, it opens yourself up to being someone else. Maybe in my head I'm like, yeah, I'm a liberal. I'm a hard liberal. So you say something conservative and I'm like, well, sorry, but I shouldn't believe that because I'm a liberal. Well, maybe if I did not identify as anything, I could just be like, interesting, I'm going to take that and see if I agree with it, but not go like, oh, I'm liberal, so I don't.
I think I don't know. I'm
Look at us debating.
I don't think. I think you need to know who you are, and you need to have beliefs.
Why?
Because I think that's what shapes your behavior. If you believe in something, if you don't believe in it...
But if we're changing all the time...
And that's what's important. If you're able to believe in something and then change and adapt to it, then you're still your belief system changes. Again, it's just I don't think that you need to believe that your opinion on something means that you are like that represents all of you. It's just a part of you. The fact that you are I'm gonna go in the weird conversation.
Yeah, that's fine.
Religious or pro-religion or against religion.
Yeah.
If you're pro-religion and somebody comes at you with the like counter arguments about it and tells you that it's wrong and and everybody's against you on the pro-religion, just the fact that you're being countered or attacked or whatever doesn't mean that that's all you that's being attacked. It's one part of your belief system. You're pro-religion, but you're also a family person, but you're also somebody who believes in the rights of human beings and this and that. There's way more to you than just this. But what I'm finding, I think, is when one thing about you is attacked, it's like your whole world and life is attacked. So you just go crazy. And people are like, oh my God, like gun control, abortion, all these topics that are very heavy, that are very important to people. But if there's somebody butting heads with you on that one thing, doesn't mean that they're completely against you. They're just against that one thing. But we take it as like, you don't like this, you hate me, then I hate you, and then you're an asshole.
What I'm trying to say is, what if I did view gun control as okay?
Okay, which is good.
and in my head, I'm like, okay, I'm the type of person that views gun control as okay. So then you come at me and you're like, you know what? I want my guns. I don't think we should control them. And then in my head, I can't physically listen to what you're saying because I'm saying to myself, no, Fiona, you're a person who believes in gun control. Don't listen to him. That's how closed-minded people exist. So if you took yourself away from your beliefs for a second and just said, you know what, hear him out. If you don't attach yourself to this belief that I am pro-gun control, you would be more open to listen to these other people.
I think we're saying pretty much the same thing. Because basically, because of that one contradiction between the two, what ends up happening, what I find is happening in today's society, it probably happened before, it's just social media and all the like we see it more often, is that I'm taking your comment about guns, let's say,
and you're letting it attack your full self.
And then I'm looking at you, I'm like, you're a piece of shit. You think, no, you're horribly wrong, and and it's just one topic. It's just one topic.
I just think that people have too many titles, people have too many like beliefs that define them, and I just feel like we should have beliefs, but not beliefs that define us.
But that's it. You have to disassociate that one belief is not all of who you are. There's parts, there's many belief systems, there's
and
many...
beliefs can change.
Exactly, and
so
that's what people
And I wouldn't want in 5 years for me to, let's say, I believe in gun control today, and then in 5 years, I don't believe in gun control, and I look back at this video and I'm like, ugh, look at who I used to be. No, look at what I believed in back then. It's not who I am. Yeah.
And I think every day we learn something new. I think like from even if you're 70, yeah, you Mr. Orange President. If you're 70, you can still learn and you can still adapt and you can still change a bit of what you believe if you're open to understanding and talking. And that's why, going back to that point about I keep bumping this social media. And today, like the online world, is that we don't take the time to actually talk about it. We attack. We think that person's attacking us personally, and then that's where you get a lot of the insults that come right away. We don't agree on something, but I'm attacking you personally. You're a piece of shit. Your family's stupid. I hope you die. You're like,
oh my God.
Where it's just a simple argument
tiny
or disagreement on one belief
that does not make you up.
Exactly.
And that's why I hate that if you're gay, if you're attacked as your whole entire being, because that's how you identify. You identify as gay, but your entire human self is bashed. And that's a whole other topic, which we will get into this week, sexuality with David. It's coming up.
Oh, okay. There's David. Hi, David. I don't know who you are, but David. Okay.
For the last 6 minutes.
Oh, there's 6 minutes.
And you know what? You do know who David is. David O'Drizzle. He's an actor. Anyways, I'm interviewing so many actors. For the last 2 questions that I have for you.
6 minutes. Really short answers.
No, don't. When we can
censorship.
We can go.
This is censorship,
We can go longer if you want. But what are some life hacks that you can give someone to make their day run more smoothly, or that have helped you navigate your life?
Wow.
And it can be one life hack, or it can be a bunch of things. So don't think about the 6 minutes.
Don't take 6 minutes to think about this.
No, I mean, don't think that we only have 6 minutes.
A
we
life
can go
hack that makes my life easier?
Yeah. Something that you do that really helps you out.
Wow. This is tough. Like honestly, there's.
Well, he's got a great life, apparently.
No, it's just I don't know about a hack. I think it's just learning every day to adapt and be able to, because I don't do it enough, but I think it's taking stock in what you've done and your accomplishments and being grateful for that and the learning of it, because I think we all look too much to the ultimate goal and the success and what's defined by success is money and fame or whatever you want, achievements. And I think I don't do it enough, and I think people need to, as well as just appreciate the moments, appreciate the journey, appreciate the things that you've learned along the way, the accomplishments that you've done. Like I keep forgetting that I've done so many videos in such a short span of time, and I'm like, nah, doesn't do anything. Look, I'm still at the same place, but I've learned so many things from it. So that's one thing I'd say, is just take the time to be grateful for the little things that you've done along the way in the journey. Maybe a life hack is have somebody that is surround yourself with people that are either as motivated as you or can bring you to to keep pushing you.
Yeah, because they say that you are the sum of the 5 people you hang out with. And I think that's so true.
5 people? I only hang out with like 3.
Then you are the extra sum of those 3 people. You better make sure those are awesome people.
But that's the thing. I think to me that's been helpful to surround myself with people that are just as motivated and just as creative, because it keeps pushing you and
making you level up.
Yeah. And you constantly get motivated from it.
Yeah. And the last question is, for the person who is about to give up on their dream, what would you tell them to not give up on your dream?
Don't do it. To not give up on your dream.
Because what I told you, Nir, was fucking quit that job, make no money, and and just work on your passion. Find a way to just live like super frugally, so that you could love your life. Unless money means a lot to you, then
I think it's a challenge. Like growing up in not a rich family, growing up in a like a financially difficult. Well, again, relatively speaking, because I think I had it pretty well as a kid, but just not financially in a sense. But to build a lifestyle and that you kind of have a hard time letting go of. So it's a little difficult. But what I would say, oh my God, I don't even know how to segue into this.
Someone who wants to give up on their dreams.
I would say if it's your dream and it's your passion and you want to do it and you love it and you're doing it for the right reasons, then keep working, keep finding the ways to motivate yourself. If it is to talk to other people that are in the same world, if it is reminding yourself about certain things, what I will say, and this is going to be like a 180 a little bit.
Oh.
Self-awareness.
Self-awareness.
Be self-aware. Some people have a dream, and we all have seen American Idol, where they had the auditions.
Yes.
And some people are terrible.
Yes.
And are horrendous.
Yeah.
But they're not. They come out and they're like, they hated me. They're stupid. They don't know anything about music. You have to be self-aware. If you're really bad at something, even if it's your passion, you got to know that. And you got to then either adjust in terms of like, well, this is not for you, and go somewhere else. Or
keep
work
working
your
really
ass off
hard
to improve, but don't think that you're there.
No.
Because I think there's a lot of people with the ability to do work and with the technology today to do creative stuff. Some people think that they're great and they're just going to do content and it's awesome. But they're not self-aware enough to see that they need to improve, or they're not there yet. And look, I've got ways to go. I still need to learn to improve and all that. We all do.
It's a life of learning.
And we got to be self-aware enough to do that. So if you're self-aware and you realize that, you know what, this is your dream and your passion, but you're aware enough to know that some things that you're doing are not great, need to be improved. You got to keep learning. You got to keep practicing. You got to take classes. It's like any muscle. You got to train it. If you're not training on a regular basis,
you're gonna lose it.
You're gonna lose it, and you're gonna fade, and you're gonna top out. And if you're not at the right point at that point, you're already behind. So don't give up if you love it. Keep working, keep training, keep working, keep doing what you love, and surround yourself with good people that can inspire you and motivate you. And and hold on to those little moments, the little wins. So the little things that you've accomplished, just even creating a first, like for me, was just putting up the first video was like, I didn't do that enough. I'm not doing that enough even today. You have to just go, wow, I've done 1 video. I've done 10. Wow, I met 5 great people from this. I think the little things, the journey that you're going through is what really could keep you going, or should keep you going, if you really love what you do.
It's all about the process, man.
Yeah. The process is hard. It's tiring. It's long. But if you love what you're doing, the process will seem less daunting, and it will actually be fun sometimes. Like, it actually, for me, it's so much fun to work with other people and to create and think about it. Sometimes editing is long and tiring, but sometimes it's also really fun. You're like, oh my God. So every little thing that you do, you gotta, I think, enjoy that process, enjoy it. Sometimes it won't be fun, and I think that's, I don't remember who said that, but somebody, I remember in one of the conferences I attended, they were like, I constantly hear, oh, enjoy the process. The process is not fun all the time, okay? The process is long and painful and tiring. But if you love what you're doing, the process is needed to get you to that next step.
Not only that, but you understand that the hard times you should navigate through because they're bringing you to where you want to go.
It's worth it.
So they make them more endurable. Is that a word?
Endurables.
It makes it more...
Enjoyable?
No, like you can endure it more. You can endure the tough times.
You can endure it, yeah.
Endurable.
Yeah, endurable.
I'm sure that's a word.
That's a word.
Anyways.
It's the fourth.
Let's leave them with that to Google that definition.
Endurable.
Yeah. And thank you so much, Nir, for being on. Is there any last thing that you want to say?
What is humble lion? I want to know what humble lion is.
We'll get to that next week. Or we'll get to it the next time. But really quickly, humble, it just reminds me to be so grounded and remember that you are not tough shit. You're not top shit. Like, you are at the same level as every single human, no matter what. So that really keeps me grounded. Good head on my shoulder. I love that. At the same time, I want to fucking conquer the world. So it's like 2 of my most like intense desires put together to remind me, be humble, yes, but don't fucking dim your light for anybody.
Yeah, Fiona's energy is like
Nir,
next level.
Nir at the beginning, before we started this episode, he's like, you have to calm down. I'm like, no, you gotta get up. You gotta match my level. So that's exactly what I'm trying to say is like, if you have energy, don't let people, I'm just kidding, I love you. Don't let people bring you down to their level. Stay energized, and you know what? You're gonna actually give them energy. I feel like Nir has gotten more energized because of it. So that's what the Humble Lion is all about. And that was fun, Nir.
Thanks for the tea. It's red rose.
it's red rose. Super cheap.
Can't even get chamomile.
So these are our pod cups, and you'll have to check out YouTube if you want to see them. They match our chairs.
Oh,
You didn't even notice. You didn't even notice.
Mind blown. Holy crap.
So that's it, guys. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you probably tomorrow for another one.
Thanks, Fiona.
Thanks,
Am I going to do
Nir.
the peace thing?
You're going to do the peace thing. We're piecing it.
Peace.